Hello, all you hardcores. Welcome to part two. We're joined by Sean from Lincolnshire. It's Lincolnshire, isn't it, Sean? Yeah.
It is, mate. I live in Gainsborough, Lincolnshire, which is a town no one needs to visit.
Why? What's the matter with that? Like,
There's nothing in it, mate. It's one of them towns to just keep driving.
is it? Is it that bad?
It's all right. It's just, you know what I mean? It's forgettable. Forgettable. Yeah. If it was a fighter, it'd be 0-76.
Do you know Liam who comes on channel? Young Liam.
Yes.
He had his first win as a trainer on Friday out of Chris Smedley's gym. Amateur.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. I enjoy listening to him. Oh, well done. He's clearly
Yeah.
putting the work in, and learning from people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, he's had his first win and he wanting to do his professional trainer's license now. So I'm really pleased for him. Like.
Oh, good. If he does, if I find out when he's got his lads on shows, I'm happy to. I'll come down. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
one of the good guys.
yeah, he's all right. He don't want, obviously, Chris has given him a set of keys to the gym, and he's trusted, and he's over at Moon. He's doing really well, young Liam. So I'm really proud of him actually. To say that
Yeah,
he got in touch with my channel through social media, and I came down here to my barbecue, and he came down to that party a couple of weeks ago down here as well at Aston Golf Club. So he's been fantastic, and he's really doing well. Like he was losing his way a bit. I mean, he's a painter and decorator in day and night. I think you're getting a bit bored at night time and that. He's got
yeah.
his way back into boxing now, and he's bouncing. So I'm really happy for him.
Good to hear about. Good to see.
Right,
Good
well,
on him
thank
as
you.
well. Like I say, they put the hours in with the amateurs. They're not taking a bean, are they? They're giving it for the love of it.
When I did that documentary for Spartan Demolition,
Yeah,
like a couple of weeks ago, last Sunday, right? Or 2 week ago today, isn't it? Ninth.
yeah.
Anyway, to cut a long story short, I was coming out at church because I was filming downstairs and Matthew were up in Gantry. And as I was coming out with Cameron, his dad was there and he come up to me and he just came to with his mum, Liam's mum,
Yeah.
and his dad came up to thank me for getting him in with Chris and doing his course and all that. So
Oh,
really nice
that's
family.
nice.
So it's a good
Clearly
story,
from
isn't
good
it?
stock. It is clearly from good stock as well to be that respectful.
So good luck to Liam. Anthony Joshua, aka Big Shivering Cunt, Big Meech, says it's about legacy. All roads lead to undisputed, but it's about money. Now, now he's obviously got this off Eddie Hills because they're obsessed by money, but they'll tell you that that's what they're about. They're not proud, the brass neck on them, the thick skin. They're not bothered what people say about them or anything. It's about money. It's not about suing people because Eddie's always suing people. He's suing Eubank, he's suing Jake Paul. He hasn't even issued writs against Jake Paul or Eubank. It's just poppycock. We've now got a situation where Joshua allegedly, according to Fat Dan, going to get 70 million on top of the 30 he got for Ungano. And Eddie will have had 20% of that. So Eddie's had 20 million at both them fights, if you believe that what we're reading on internet from the powers that be. Are we going to end up with one on slab? And is this a step too far? And obviously, let me just point this out. The weight stipulation is Eddie's even thrown in, will even drop down to 245. Now, Joshua with 252 in his last fight, when he was 240 for Pula, 244 for Usyk rematch. So he's hovering around that anyway, isn't he? So they're not giving
Yeah.
any concessions. So does Jake Paul's team know what they're doing? And do they think that, yeah, well, we're dragging him down to 245? What? He's even been in 230s at some stages in his career. So what do you make of it all? And if you don't do him inside 2 minutes, is it a shambles?
Well, I think it's a shambles if it lasts 30 seconds because it shouldn't be happening. In terms of the weight, yeah, that's that's an attempt for um, Matchroom to claim, obviously, Matchroom to claim that he's somehow giving away a concession. But like you said, he's looked more lethargic when he fights above 17 and a half stone, 245 anyway. So he's not giving anything away. He's fighting a man who's going to come in between, he says, 215 and 225, who's not naturally, in both sense of the word, a heavyweight at all. We will. This will run and run, and like you said, and I certainly don't forecast or wish it on anyone, even someone that's a YouTuber, wish bad health or a slab on them, but it's going to happen in the pursuit, and then everyone's going to be wise after the fact, and it's going to drag boxing into further disrepute when it's got enough stats against him anyway. But yeah, there's an opportunity there, unless it is staged, which apparently it's meant to be a proper fight, that someone's going to end up dying. And there's enough people, one's too many people dying, whether it's Mikey Tyler or something in the ring, when it's not, the odds aren't stacked against him. But this is lunacy and it's just a cash grab.
Mm. Well, Juggy Oliver's come on Talksport and he said Anthony Joshua's a businessman and Wardley's next after this. Well, is it good preparation for Wardley? This getting he beat Ngannou, got knocked out against John Coffey. It looked absolutely shot. His legs gone, his chin gone, the full lot. Now he's fighting Jake Paul. Is that preparation for Wardley? And are they taking that Wardley fight so they can go to the table and demand 50% against Fury? Because Fury at the moment, the word on the grapevine is Fury wants 60% in the first fight. And obviously the winner gets 60 in the second. But Fury wants 60%. Eddie Hills is saying, no, we're commercially 50%. So do you think that's why they're going after Wardley, after Jake Paul?
Def Definitely. If Joshua had any care about legacy, he'd want to go and avenge the defeat that I presume he's got a rematch clause that's not
Correct.
expired.
Correct.
And there's no better time to fight him because he's lost his belt comprehensively. He's changed trainers. You could claim that there's a imbalance in his camp. If they had any care about legacy, they'd fight him now, but they know what would happen because they know if he gets hit on the whiskers, it's murder she wrote. Good night, Vienna. So no, yeah. And if he does step in the word with Wardley, I think Wardley will absolutely batter him because Wardley's got that thing in you, like you said, that will make you turn up to a straightener on your own against a big thing. Whereas AJ doesn't want that smoke, does he? So no,
Well,
he's gonna
Wardley's an
he's
Ipswich
gonna
kid, isn't he, right? And me and Big Ron heard a story that he turned up in Norwich to fight a kid on his own. On his own. And
um,
there were loads of people there. And he bowled up on his own. I don't know if you've seen that film with Mark Wahlberg, Four Brothers, and at the end of the
yeah, I
film,
have.
he walks across the snow, doesn't he? On his own
Yeah,
to fight that guy. Well, he did one of them jobs, Fabio Wardley. So
yeah.
I've got a lot of time for him really because he come from white collar, and we all get white collar a bit of stick, don't we? Right? Because it's a bit like well, we'll come to Rhino's show in a minute. That was a bit like white collar the night, wasn't it? But we all give white collar a bit of white collar fighters a bit of stick, but they deserve credit for getting in there. Right? Anybody who gets in that ring and puts them gloves on, amateur white collar professional, they deserve credit, but Wardley's got something inside him that I think that I haven't seen. I'm not saying this because I'm a big admirer of his CV. As a person, he's a fucking car crash. Frotcher's CV, he's like Wardley. He'll have it with anybody. Frotch walks in the pub. If he's got problems with people, they all put the fucking heads down, mate. Because he's not bothered,
Yeah.
Carl. He'll stick it on you. Wardley, for me, he's a roadman like Frotchy. Clinton Woods is from that ilk. You know,
Yeah. And there's
he'll throw down, get your coat off then. He's one of them. But
yeah.
like I said, he turned the pin Norwich and he got at it with somebody, bare knuckle, and fucking smoked the guy in front of everybody. On his Todd. On his
The
Todd.
thing with Ward, and that takes guts and heart and a massive, massive set of balls. There's no mental fragility around Wardley, and that'll make someone like AJ deep in the bones nervous because when they are doing the face-off, AJ knows that that person's got no fear of him as well. So I do hope the fight happens. I do hope the fight happens, and I hope Wardley beats him as well because again,
I do.
fighting we can get behind, and I think he'd win as well. I'll lump on for that bet.
Can Joshua stay out of Wardley's way for 36 minutes and not get clumped with that big right of Wardley? He's got a big left as well, hasn't he, Wardley?
No one else has been, and the person who just about made it 12 rounds got his face badly rearranged
Big
in
Freeze.
in the return within what, a
Oh
minute?
yeah, in the
Um,
first one, Big Freeze fucking held his own though, didn't he? Big Freeze.
Absolutely, we like Big
Big
Freeze.
Freeze has got it in him as well, you know.
Yeah.
If he
Oh
could
yeah.
get that, I mean, we could quite easily be wrong about Big Freeze. He could have just got caught cold in that second one, but in the first one, he got ripped into him like an Olympic bronze medalist should do. So I think Big Freeze has been forgotten. He could be the dark horse in all this, you know.
We're I think you're right. We're sleeping on him a bit, but fortunately, he's now on the BBC. Not that the BBC is good as a broadcast, but in terms of
Yeah.
eyes on it, he's got an opponent that's very winnable against TKV, and he can elevate himself back up. Then I think we're all quietly sleeping on Freeze because he's a nice guy and he doesn't shout and he doesn't slag everyone off every 4 minutes. So yeah, it could be some good fight for him. It's not the end of him anyway, is he?
No, no, it ain't. It ain't. But Fabio Wardley against Joshua, I don't think Joshua had come through that fight to get the Fury fight. And I don't really think Joshua wants that Fury fight, to be honest. If he's going after Wardley, after Jake Paul, I mean, how can he even deserve a shot at a world title?
But
How?
like I say,
On the
that's
strength of
how the
what, Sean? What on the strength of fucking what? Does Anthony
well,
Joshua deserve commercial value? What
well
next? They're
that,
going to put Jake Paul in with Usyk because he's got commercial value as well. Where are we going with this? Do you know what's going to happen? One's going to end up. We're going to end up with a body on slab, aren't we? And
yep,
everybody's going to put their head in their hands and say, "Well, we need to have a good look at ourselves." That's what's going to happen. I mean, that guy
absolutely,
who Dalton Smith's fighting's already killed somebody at ring, and he's a fucking doper.
yeah.
So, but are they all on it?
Like I say, the
No.
cynic in me thinks then, like I say, when Larry Olabamimo went public and he
Larry
talked about
Alabama.
how, yeah, but like I say, then seen next scene in EastEnders after that. But anyway, he talked about how it's rife. If you actually listen to him about what he's talking about, it's rife in the sport. It's not an exception to the rule. I'm not saying it's a majority, but it's a good proportion of people using PEDs, particularly at the heavyweight as well.
Well, Larry came out, didn't he, and fucking bubbled them all up, didn't he, basically, and told
Oh,
the
I
story. But he
graph.
was a 200
Yeah.
meter sprinter, wasn't he? So they were all on
Yeah.
gear, weren't they, back in the day?
Yeah, with a pharmacology degree and 6 years in prison behind him. But yeah, and as someone who's ingested everything that you can do in terms of PEDs for a different sport that involve getting whacked, I know the impact and the difference they make to your strength and your aggression and everything else. So to use that when you're getting in the ring with someone, you're murdering someone if it doesn't put if it goes wrong.
What do you make of this Joshua situation with Lomachenko training him? Do you think all that's needed for fucking Jake Paul? I mean, Tommy Fury fucking punched him up, didn't he?
The issue with AJ is not a trainer. He had his best trainer, was the first trainer he ever had. You only need to look at Floch for that. But he's been around the houses and had, I think, did we count 8 trainers he's had? Will this be his ninth? Uh,
Eighth trainer
yeah, yeah.
as a
If
pro.
there, if there was a cure in the trainers, you'd have found it because he's been around the globe and this is not going to add anything to him. There's nothing that Lomachenko and Usyk can do that AJ will ever be able to learn. So no, it's just another gloss and another reason for him to claim that he's reinvented himself.
Okay, well, if you go look at some videos Trots put back ages ago, but I was saying this years ago, Anthony Joshua, when he was at the EIS backs onto AJ Hobson's scrapyard. So we used to see Joshua in cafe. Adam Etchit's uncle, is it Terry? You know Adam Etchits who comes on
I
channel with
do.
that kid from
Yeah,
Thailand who obviously has
yeah.
gone back to Thailand now. Sorry, he's gone back to Kazakhstan and got a job, that kid. So, but Terry Etchit's got a cafe that backs onto AJ Hobson. So Joshua used to go in there and get Frey Bentos chicken and mushroom and chips and all that and have crack with everybody. Fair enough for what they all say, he's a nice enough guy, but even then, he weren't doing his road work, right?
Maybe you
Because some
say
trainers that used to go in there, the chat used to squeal a bit, and he weren't doing his road work then. And that was 18 months before they brought Joby Clayton and Angel Hernandez on. So the tail were wagging the dog then. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do.
It's a
I
bit
do.
like Joshua going to Ben Davison's performance centre. From what I've heard, he was wanting to train when he wanted. Like Nazim Ahmed used to go to Ingle Gym. He had a set of keys like all fighters up there, like Horsecock's got a set and all that. But Naz were wanting to go train at 2 in the morning or 11 at night. And that's not the done thing. But when you were getting £1 million a fight, and Brendan were getting his cut out of the job, nobody's going to say anything, are they? So it's like it doesn't set a good precedent for everybody else in gym, doesn't it?
No.
So whatever's that gone on between him and Ben Davison, we might not get to find out. If Ben Davison stood up for that and said, "Here, this is when we train, take
Yeah.
it or leave it," because he's got a big stable, hasn't he? And he's
He
got a
has.
few quid now, Ben. He's got a few quid now, Ben. So
Yeah.
Joshua might have thought, well, I'll leave it then. And that might be why he's gone. So if Ben Davison set a precedent for the rest of his stable, I think that's good, even though I've given him some stick because he looks
Yeah.
about fucking 12, doesn't he? Without, and,
Yeah.
and he looks like a baby, doesn't he? But I've given him some stick. But if he's done that and stuck up for the rest of his stable and said, no,
Yeah.
this is when we train, you can't just dictate. I think that's fantastic. But I'm not saying that's what's happened because we don't know. But it's a pity that Inglot didn't say the same thing to Naz because there were a lot of unrest up there. Oh, why is he getting to walk? And he was a bit of a bully, that Naz. Fat Naz. He
Yeah.
used to nip amateur fighters, go up to him and nip them like that and just be a bit of a bully.
Yeah.
And nobody
Yeah.
said out to him. He were like, a bit like Mike Tyson, everybody would say,
Yeah.
yes, Mike, yes, Mike, yes, Mike. What's weather like out there? And Mike could say it's raining and it might be sunny and they just agreed, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And what it needed with Mike Tyson, somebody say, Mike, that's wrong, that you can't
Yeah.
do that. And that's what Naz needed. And do you think
Absolutely.
that Joshua kind of were getting like that? Because he was sort of dictating who did what at the EIS. Now, Nicky Smedley and his late brother Luke, they were slipping into EIS a few years ago and walking about and doing what they wanted. And Joshua were like trying to dictate who went in there and blah, blah, blah. Nicky and Luke just said, fuck off. What are you going to do? So
Yeah.
basically, they weren't allowed to go in and that. But do you think Joshua got too big for his boots? I think
Definitely.
personally, from what I'm hearing,
Definitely.
that
And if he's
tail will
and if
wag
he's
it dog.
and if he's doing that when he was with McCracken, imagine how bad he is now. Like I say, they're
Exactly.
just
Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah.
going to take the money, no disrespect, but he's basically buying a trainer like Manny Stewart will take the money and train him for what for the fight. So yeah, absolutely. The only person I ever heard of who put Naz in his place was Carl Thompson. 'Cause he threatened to batter him if he carried on acting like it, which always
In a
made me like
limousine,
Carlton.
it were in a
Yeah,
limousine going
which
to
all
the WBO convention. They were in Calzaghe
yeah.
and Carl Thompson, and all on this big long journey in this limousine. Nas was sat there going, yeah, well, you need to be doing this, Carl. You need to be doing that. You need this sponsor. He says, I'll tell you what, I fucking don't need. I'll grab you with your big jug ears and I'll fucking lift you up like European Cup. And
Yeah,
he says, shut your mouth. And because he kept chipping away and chipping away. You can imagine, can't you?
absolutely, absolutely. You need to be careful because I remember what Carl did to Sebastian Rothman. So he's lucky he didn't get sparked. But yeah, no,
I
that
remember
is
what he did to David A.
absolutely at 40-year-old as well, just after the Rothman fight. Yeah. So, but yeah, that is exactly what AJ's doing, and it's been his undoing, hasn't it? Because it's not worked.
No, it hasn't worked. But I'm just starting to wonder if him going to Lomachenko is going to change anything because when you're pushing 37-year-old, right, you can't all of a sudden decide that you want to start fighting like Pernell Whitaker and be elusive and that. Not when you're a straight 1-2 merchant, and he's basically a Frank Bruno type job, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a better commercialized
But Frank
Frank
Bruno would
Bruno.
probably punch him up.
Probably so. Yeah, he'd have done better. He did better than AJ would have done against Lewis. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Eddie's come out and he said that they put some names to him regarding 147, 154, and even 160. And every time they put a hard name to him, I was watching it last night, especially at 154, which it's looking like he's going to be a 154. He's learning on the job when Boots Ennis' name were mentioned. But Boots Ennis is an Eddie fighter, and so is Crusher Benn. So why don't they put them together like they should have put Frotch and Darren Barker together, shouldn't they? You know, Darren
Learning on the
Barker were
job.
wanting a 168, well, Frotch were 168 IBF. Why didn't they put them together? Why don't they put Boots Ennis in with Conor Benn? Because they get fucking lit up. That's why.
Absolutely. And this learning on
Oh,
the
he's
job
learning
stuff.
on job.
10 years of pro, 29. If you're doing an apprenticeship, you don't get 9 years in and go, I'm still learning. I'm still learning on the job. Don't stick me on site on my own yet. It's absolute waffle.
But you want to put him in with Jack Cattrall. Oh, he's learning on job. And he might need a tune-up fight at 147. Wow, but yet you'll put him in with these old men and with rehydration clauses, and he doesn't need a tune-up fight for them, does he? So, what is it? What is it? Is it
Absolutely.
are you talking belts? But it's about money. It's like Joshua. All roads lead to undisputed. We remember that big, massive post that they put out on Twitter, don't they?
I
And
do.
every interview, he always used to say at the end, "All roads lead to undisputed, Cougs." Well, obviously they don't, do they? What they've done, they've got the cocks out from the penthouse and they're lagging on us, and they're all like Eddie, Connor! All these divs in the media that daren't say a word. That's what we're up
And yet,
against.
and yet the only British voice we heard at the press conference was Gad doing his best to basically verbally nosh him off at the thing, and it was absolutely nauseating.
Listen,
Obviously,
the smart money up here is Kell Brook's going to win in February, and then it's going to be Kell Brook and Crusher in summer at 154. Now, personally, if Kell Brook's on his A game, Flex gets him down in weight and gets him fit because you can't teach him anymore. You can't
no,
teach somebody who's 40 in May. You can't teach Kell Brook how to fight. He's been doing it since he was a small kid, and he was very talented as a junior amateur. It's just a case of Kell Brook being motivated and doing the weight right. Kell Brook, if he's bang on, punches him upside down by timing. I'm not bothered about Conor Benn. Can you imagine Conor Benn coming in with them windmill punches against Kell Brook? He would have got took out inside 2 rounds 6 or 7 years ago. And now it might be a bit different because Kell's getting a bit older. But I think Kell Brook would absolutely write him off. Do you?
so do I. So do I. And the one thing that Ingle knows how to do, obviously, he's also got a background in bodybuilding. He knows his stuff when it turns about making weight properly as well and stuff. So if he's got the motivation, and if Brook's got anything left, even half of what he was, he absolutely schools Ben, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, would you put it past them at this stage of game, putting Amir Khan in with Conor Benn at 154?
Well, I mean, he would take the fight as well, wouldn't he? That's the thing. That would
Amir
be a very.
Khan, he'd take that in a heartbeat for 30%. He'd take less money.
Well, he spent 15 million quid on the world's most expensive wedding venue in Bolton. So I know he's not short of a few quid, but he'll certainly be chasing a few more. Yeah, that wouldn't
Right.
surprise me either.
Right. Getting back to boxing. Right. Last night there were 5 shows in the UK. Usually there's between, I don't know, 12, 18 shows, 5 shows in UK. But the night before we had Rhino's show. We had box rec average per fighter of 883. But fair enough, it's his debut show. Well, he's saying it's his debut show, but it's in Mark Bason's name. So why you'd say that on Talksport, I don't know. I dare say Robert Smith will probably get stuck into him over that. Which, who gives a shit anyway? It's been going on for years. Promoters lending the licenses out to pals to put shows on. Rhino's show, he's got Joe Hayden. He's now 21 and 0, 2 stoppages, and only 3 out of the 21 wins have got winning records. Are they going to pad that kid out to 70 and 0 or what? What's going on here? Is he going to fight somebody, this Joe Hayden?
Well, their excuse was, and I know Joe, so I'm not trying to speak ill of him needlessly, but 21 and 0, only two stoppages. He was meant to be fighting someone, he said, with a winning record who had visa issues for the Commonwealth silver title. Apologies, my cat's trying to get in the scene. He's a Russian blue, so he likes invading other people's spaces. Um, in terms of Joe, he was fighting against De Oliveira, who, when you actually look at his record, is a super featherweight. So he's someone that's come up 20 pounds even then. Six and what is it,
6 and
6 and 36?
37.
Yeah, absolute. Yeah. So not Joe's fault, but that was the chief support to the main event. And of those 11 fights on the card, only the main event had both of them with winning records. The other 10 opponents had losing records as well. So not much of a debut for your promotional journey, was it? Um, and it was just the only mild surprise on the card. Was I think they brought Jake Bray in, a fella from near Donny, Stainford. I think my dad used to live on a site near there. But even he had a losing record, but they brought him in to win against someone who was 0 and 4, some Iranian from Wakefield, and he lost on points. So that was the only upset, and they still had losing records. So I don't know who paid to watch that as well. It is quite the only positive is that I think they brought it in for Lewis Booth to win because he was a Donny lad for the centre area
Not
title and he
me.
didn't win. So yeah, so the main event was a fair judge, but the rest of the card, Sam Lightfoot, the last making a debut, I think she's from Leeds. She boxed well, but you don't pay 40 quid for a ticket for that or ringside or
Well, Rhino
VIP.
will
So
know
no,
what it's all about now, and so will other people because everybody. Because I know what I know how much it costs to put shows on. He'll have had to put his hand in his pocket, and he'll have had to give Bateson a drink as well to use his promoter's license, and because he's not going to do it for free. But whatever's gone on between them, I give Rhino credit for having a go. But let me tell you this: once he sits back and thinks, "Oh my God, I can't believe the stress and all that knackers are having to deal with." 22 fighters on the night, the border control, and all the knackers that's surrounding it, right? And the guys had somebody were doing a bit of filming for it and all that. All that palaver is absolutely fucking draining, mate. It's absolutely draining. That's why you have to surround yourself by proper people to do things like that. But you got to have a few quid. It's not
yeah,
something you can just go at and think, oh, I can throw 15 grand at that show, and if I pull 15 back in tickets, I'll be all right to break even and get one on board. Don't work like that. You got to be a winner. Dennis always used to say, look, we've got to be winners here. We've got to have something out at the job. We've got to find an angle to come out with something on the night and not be fucking stressed to death. You see where I'm coming from?
definitely. And the likes of Dennis Hobson and Steve Wood, they've got businesses outside of boxing, haven't they?
Yeah, there you
So they
go.
can. Steve
An
Wood's financial,
accountant.
yeah, absolutely. And Dave's definitely not an accountant. I think his sister still looks after his money, but like I say,
Oh, I bet she does.
Steve Wood's a financial advisor, so he's got a business anyway. So he's got head screwed on. Like I say, Hobson, what's he got? Steel business. So yeah, it's not easy going into
Steel
that world of
business. Dennis
promotions.
Dennis owns an engineering company as well as his steel business. He imports steel. He's got a scrap metal yard. He's got contracts for Rolls Royce and what they
British
call it,
Aerospace.
and British
Yeah,
Aerospace. They make components for aircraft, don't they,
yeah, but
Dennis?
I
And
mean, he's a proper businessman. He knows business. So
oh yeah,
Dave doesn't. Dave probably
fucking
got a
hell,
rude
yeah.
awakening last night, didn't he?
It's a hobby to Dennis. It's a miss if it. He can take it or leave it, can he? He just does it for his big E. He's got big ego, but Rhino will know what it's all about now. And like I said, we all seen Steffi Bull putting shows on for years, but we know how he were fronting them out, don't we? So
That's it.
it's an hard slog. It's a
It
very,
is.
very
It
hard
is
slog.
definitely.
Uh, Talk sport. Hmm. What? Who would you sack on there? I've asked a couple of lads who come on here, regulars. Who would you sack on there if you were main man?
Who wouldn't you sack? I'd get rid of Jim White, Probellum, MTK successor, Liquor,
Yeah.
Simon Jordan. Last success he had was
Well, Jim
flogging
White
weight
were
off.
taking money From Pro Bellum, wasn't he? He won't
Of course,
bother
what
where the money were coming
he was
from, were he?
announced. So was Mike Coppinger. They all got announced. So was
Well, what
Sam.
about Juggy as Oliver? He won at first ones to do what this Misfits knackers wanted. Do you remember with Joe Weller and them?
Yeah, yeah. So
Hey,
no,
double
um,
dipper. Isn't that right?
absolutely.
Juggy is.
And the only one who's recently been on there regularly and honest is Dave Allen. Like I say, who may have shot himself in the foot by being too honest. But as for the rest of them, what? Who are you going to keep? Paul Smith? There's no one on there you'd keep.
Paul Smith. You won't have him on there now. I thought Paul Smith were going to be a breath of fresh air, but the more I've looked at it, the more I've thought, no, Paul
He,
Smith just fell into line like Duke McKenzie and the rest of them. They all talk tough, they get on there, and then they fall into line. Once you get that £500 appearance money, train down to London and an hotel. Oh, it's all nice, that, isn't it? All free gratis. You're down there 2 days filming, bag of sand in your pocket, all your meals and that, and a ticket down on train, and your taxi from your home. Oh, it's great, that, isn't it? It's great that all you've got to do is go down there and suck everybody's cock instead of telling
that's what,
truth. Hey, that's all they've got to do. Tell the truth. It's not hard, is it?
and that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
So I'm disappointed with Paul Smith. He backtracked many times in the last few weeks, and all he's doing, in my opinion, is going into bat for his brother, who asked for $5 million to fight Benavides. So he's gone
Which is a
from
pu-
1 million to 5 million. What? That means you don't
which
want
is
to fight.
it's a polite way of saying no, thank you to the fight, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if he gets offered the fight again, why not? He's got an high ranking on it, but they don't want it. They're waiting for them belts to fragment. Why don't Paul Smith
Yep,
just say that? Oh, Callum's going to wait it out. He's young enough. Look at Better Beav. He's 40 and in a couple of weeks. Callum's got plenty of time and he'll sit it out and then be known as a two-weight champion. Might even pinch another Ring Magazine belt. He'd be most fakest Ring Magazine double champion ever, wouldn't he? Eh? Straight
absolutely.
face from Greece. Huh?
Be like more like Rim magazine belt.
So it is what it is. Dillian White, Derek Chisora, have they been put out to pasture now? Do you think they're old news?
Definitely old news. Definitely should be put out to pasture. But I do think they'll bring him back for one last fight. Um, unfortunately,
Well,
I
Spotty
think Dilly.
Frank's talking about him doing it again in a trilogy.
Yeah, well, like I say, obviously Spotty Franks is a chief T-boy now, so it may well happen. But yeah, it's not a fight we need to see. Obviously, Dillian's shot to bits. Derek's still Derek, and he'll sell the fight, chuck a few tables, and they'll have a fight. But nobody needs to see it at all. Yeah, Derek's one of my least favourite people in the sport. Um, Lays his hands on women, so oh, need to say no more. So yeah, but yeah, it's they're both well past it. They both never won a title. But at least Derek had a go when he did get his title shot, what, about 12 years ago, whereas Dillian was an absolute embarrassment. So yeah, they both got far more out of the sport than their ability deserves. So yeah, it will get put on, I suspect, but we don't need to see it as well. Yeah.
Who do you think has got most left in tank out of Derek and Dillian?
Sadly, because I absolutely loathe him, Chisora. So he's just a loud posh boy, really masquerading as a roadman. At least Dillian comes from absolute nothing in terms of landing here at 14 with no education, absolutely being dragged up. So I've got respect for that in terms of the hustle, but Derek's a chancer and a liar in terms of his background. So I hope Dillian wins, despite the multiple drug cheats, because I just really don't like Derek, and I don't think he deserves it.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for coming on, Sean. Been a pleasure. I
My
hope you're
pleasure.
well. What you got planned
I
for the rest
really
of the
will.
evening?
Going to sound really sad now. I'm going to be working till about 1 a.m. because I've got to get some contracts out. But that's because I'm an absolute sadder when it comes to work. But I do enjoy it, Porky, because I'm an absolute geek when it comes to work. But I have got a glass of wine, second glass of wine. So I will be having some wine while I'm doing it. And I'm going to hopefully get a chance to see my daughter for half an hour before she goes to Kip.
Have you seen that film, The Apprentice, with Donald Trump? And it's a story about Donald Trump and his lawyer, Roy Cohen, who got John Gotti 4 years for
Yes.
murder. Have you seen it on Netflix?
No, but my wife again, obviously since I got married, I've not seen the TV remote because my wife took it as well
Fantastic,
as my liberty.
fantastic
My
film.
wife's watched it and keeps mentioning to watch it, so I might try and stick it on while I'm sorting out all my
It's gone
admin crap.
viral. So, yeah,
Yeah.
good
Well, I'll see if she
film.
lets me. I'll see if she lets me near the remote, Porky.
All right then.
She's
Is your
she's from
missus one of them that surfs for about an hour and then by the time she's surfed and you found something, you're asleep?
Porky. She's from South Yorkshire. I'm not even arguing with her, Porky. I know my place. I know my place. I'm no fighter. I'm not a lover or a fighter. I'm a that's all right, dear.
Okay, well, listen, you take care. Have a great evening, Sean. Thanks for coming
Take
on.
care, my friend. Bye bye.
Peace out. Bye. Well, that was Sean from Lincolnshire. Women love him, men want to go gym with him. And that's about it, really. I'm off to Fairlawns now for a steam. Oh, been a long week. The Boulder Avenger in the steam room. So that's about it. Thanks for liking and subscribing, leaving a comment. We will be back tomorrow with Liam in a two-parter at some stage because he's off work tomorrow. I'm going to let him bask in the glory of being a trainer with his first win, which I know means a lot to him because he's only a young spunker, isn't he? And I want him to remember his first win as a trainer. I know it's only amateur and that, but he's ex-amateur fighter, isn't he? But he's got one on board and he'll progress now. He's with Chris Smedley and Matt. So good luck to Liam. So he's going to be on tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll be getting Kent on at some point. Kent, what's happening? Have we fell out? Where are you, kid? Since I lost my phone, I've seemed to have lost contact with loads of people. But if you ain't got my number, just email me, including you, Barbara the Blade. I'll have to get you on Pokers International, talk about Sheffield United. Uh, and that's about it. My snooker player pal, you can email me as well. So I keep losing my phone, don't I? So okie dokie, that's about it. So peace out. Shattered. It's been a good week, and this is brought to you by Spartan Demolition, and it's video number 49 for the month. How's about that, eh? Hard graft. There's no shortcuts to success. Not that we're pulling any fucking trees up on YouTube at the moment. Go on, peace out.